Hello everyone. So today I'm here back with the third page of biology textbook, first lesson, nutrition, food supplying system. So let us start here, children. Sometimes I will not read the textbook matter, children. In the background I will be reading and I will be explaining because double it will consume more time. Okay. Yes, so let us start now. Van Niel first worked on purple sulfur bacteria and found light plays a specific role in photosynthesis. Instead of water, they used hydrogen sulfide as a starting material. Here, no oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis, instead, elemental sulfur is evolved. Later, he envisioned a similar process of photosynthesis in plants and proposed the above mentioned equation. Later, Robert Hill showed that oxygen is released from water during this reaction. Then the equation was modified as follows. So this is the equation for photosynthesis. So the main thing here is that Van Niel, he worked with the purple sulfur bacteria. Here is the image of purple sulfur bacteria. So this purple sulfur bacteria, children, they also perform photosynthesis. In green plants, the plants will perform photosynthesis by taking water. But here, instead of providing water for the purple sulfur bacteria to perform photosynthesis, hydrogen sulfide will be used. When water is used by green plants, then oxygen is liberated. Whereas in purple sulfur bacteria to perform photosynthesis, instead of water, hydrogen sulfide is used. So definitely the outcome also will be different, and it is elemental sulfur which is evolved. So these bubbles which you can see, those are the bubbles of elemental sulfur released by elemental sulfur which is released by the purple sulfur bacteria during photosynthesis. So in normal green plants, in the green parts where chloroplast is present, in that chloroplast the chlorophyll pigment will be used to perform photosynthesis by the plants. So here what all are the reactants, children? According to this equation, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide will combine with 6 molecules of water, but in your textbook it is given 12 molecules of water. And in the presence of sunlight will have the solar energy which has small molecules of photons, that's why photosynthesis. Then of course chlorophyll pigment, inside the chlorophyll pigment only all this activity will be taking place. Then what all are the products which are formed? Starch or glucose, that is C6H12O6 plus 6 molecules of oxygen, and also the liberated 6 molecules of water is also given out. Here it is not mentioned. Okay, next paragraph. It is known that plants synthesize carbohydrates, the smaller simpler ones first, and form them, and from them the more complex ones like starch and cellulose. Plants are capable of synthesizing all other compounds like proteins, fats, etc. So here the plants will synthesize the carbohydrates, carbon and hydrogen bonds where it is present, for example starch or glucose. It is having C6H12O6. So these are called as the carbohydrates. So these carbohydrates are synthesized by plants by taking smaller, simpler molecules and converting it through a lengthy process of photosynthesis into complex molecules like starch or cellulose. Then the plants are also capable of synthesizing all other compounds like proteins, fats. So by consuming these plants or its products, the other organism who has consumed it, in their body the proteins, fats, vitamins, all that will be transferred. So here you can see, children, animals are not capable of synthesizing the carbohydrates and they have to depend on plants for cell. Then next it is given, can we state the photosynthesis is the basic energy source for most of the living world? Why? Why not? Of course, photosynthesis is only the basic energy source for most of the living organisms, because as we have already mentioned that whether if it is a herbivorous animal, then directly it will depend upon the plants, but if it is a carnivorous animal, then they will consume the other animals like herbivores which will depend upon the plants. So Every living organism, whether it is a unicellular organism or multicellular organism, either a small invertebrate or a vertebrate, any organism which is surviving, definitely it will require plants. That is, plants are very, very important. Directly or indirectly, every organism has to depend upon the plants for its survival. So now do you know the importance of plants, children? That's why we have to take care that we should not cut away all the plants or trees. Deforestation should be avoided, and we have to take care to grow more and more plants and trees. So you all should be very serious about plantation, children. With the help of many number of plants only, the earth can be very safe. Global warming can be avoided, pollution can be reduced, rainwater can be harvested. I mean, there will be lots of rainfall. So plants are very, very important for all of us.
To show that starch is present in the leaves. Materials required: healthy potted plant, alcohol,
Alcohol or methylated spirit. In your textbook, methylated spirit is given. That only you put it as labeling.
alcohol, iodine solution, dropper, forceps, tripod stand with wire gauge, Bunsen burner, 2 beakers with water, watch glass, test tube. Process: take a healthy potted plant and keep it in the sunlight for a few hours. After a few hours, pluck a green leaf from the plant. Now boil this leaf in water to kill it. After boiling in water, again boil it in alcohol.
Or methylated spirit.
Purpose of boiling leaf in alcohol is that it dissolves greenish part, that is chlorophyll. Then wash the leaf in cold water
With the help of a brush. Here forceps is shown, children, but you have to use the brush so that the leaf will not be torn.
and place it in a watch glass. Now pour some drops of iodine solution over it. Observation: the leaf turns blue. Conclusion: this shows that starch is present in the leaf.
So here one question is being asked, children. Do you think the solar energy transforms into chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis? Of course, the solar energy will transform into chemical energy, but by using certain other things also. That is the same like how we have seen the equation of photosynthesis. Solar energy along with the help of water molecules, then carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight, in with the help of chlorophyll pigment, will give rise to many of the other chemicals. So simpler molecules are converted into complex molecules. Next, let us see here factors or materials essential for the process of photosynthesis. What are the materials that you think would be essential for the synthesis of carbohydrates in the process of photosynthesis? Hint. See the equation proposed by Van Neel. Again, the same equation we have to write in detail. Do you think the equation tells us about all the materials involved? It took scientists over 300 years to find out about them. They opined that we don't know about several materials involved in the process still. Let us study how scientists experimented to find out about some of the materials required for the process of photosynthesis. So, any invention or discovery doesn't be very fast, children. It takes sometimes centuries and generations, and after generations many of the scientists will be carrying out their work and writing the material and passing it on to the next generation scientists, and they will be carrying it out. So it took almost 300 years to find out about in detail about the process of photosynthesis. Next is about the water and photosynthesis. In class 7 we already studied how von Helmont found out that the water is essential for the increase of plant mass. He did not know about photosynthesis then. Later it was found that increase in plant body mass or material occurred due to the process of photosynthesis. We shall study more about it in the following sections. Read the chapter on nutrition in plants in class 7. Discuss with your friends and write a note on von Helmont's experiment focusing on how he concluded that water was important for plant growth and increase in body mass. So this is the page, children, of your 7th class textbook, Nutrition in Plants. So here we have this von Helmont's activity. Hope you all remember this, children, where von Helmont, he took a small plant and potted it in a very big pot, and he covered the pot with a metal lid which had holes so that only water will enter into the soil of that pot. So initially when he planted, he took the weight of the plant, then the weight of the soil, then daily he was providing only water and the plant was receiving only sunlight, and the minerals which were present in the soil along with the water, they were dissolved and that was being utilized by the plant. After 5 years he checked the weight of the same plant and he found tremendous increase in the weight. Here this table you have in 7th class textbook, where the mass of the tree, which was at starting 2.27, mass is taken in here first initially, and the mass of dry soil was 90.72. After 5 years, mass of tree was 76.74 kgs and the dry soil it reduced to 90.66, and overall change in mass in kilogram of tree was 74.47 kgs, and dry soil it reduced only to 0.06. So what does that mean? From the soil very little thing has been used up by the plant and the mass of the soil decreased, but by using that little thing, that is the minerals which are present in the soil along with the water, will be utilized by the plant, by the growing plant, and it showed after 5 years a tremendous increase in the weight of the mass, in the weight of the tree, that is to 74.47. So isn't that amazing? So the plant was growing just by using that soil. In that soil the minerals which were dissolved along with the water, and it was utilizing the solar energy. So this is the von Helmont's experiment. Frequently it will be asked, children, you have to clearly understand this. So on the whole it proved that water is very essential, and not only water, later on it was found out that the photosynthetic activity, only one thing cannot be said as very important for photosynthetic activity. If sunlight is not available, but remaining other things like carbon dioxide, water, soil, chlorophyll, if it is available, then does the photosynthesis perform? It won't take place. So in the same way water is also very much important. If remaining all things are being available but water is not being available, then also the plants cannot grow and it cannot perform the photosynthesis. So finally it was proved according to the von Helmont's experiment that he focused more on water. Water was very important for growth of plant to increase its mass. So that was the starting stage when von Helmont performed this activity. But later on in detail it was studied, and finally it took almost entire 300 years for the entire equation of photosynthesis to be framed finally. Okay. So let us come to the last paragraph of page number 4. Air and photosynthesis. Let us discuss an experiment on photosynthesis. So here we have another experiment, children. So I will carry it on in the next video tomorrow. So once I will read this last paragraph, let us discuss an experiment on photosynthesis. This one helps us to find out about the role of air in the process of photosynthesis. It is interesting to learn about the experiment, which is one of the several milestones in the gradual development of our understanding of photosynthesis. Joseph Priestley, 1733 to 1804. In 1770, performed a series of experiments that revealed the essential role of air on the growth of green plants. Photosynthesis was still not known to the scientists at that time. So I will carry it on. This is Priestley's experiment. Priestley's experiment I will teach you in the next class, children. Okay.